Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into a fascinating match from IPL 2025.
That's right. Match 30, Lucknow Super Giants versus Chennai Super Kings, played April 14th in Lucknow.
Yeah, at the Ikana Stadium, we've got the match summary, the highlights, basically the key info.
And our job, really, is to break it down, find those key moments, the turning points.
Understand what made this match tick. So let's start with the result. CSK won.
Yep, by 5 wickets. Pretty close finish, it seems.
And the player of the match? No real surprise, maybe. MS Dhoni.
Unbeaten 26 off just 11 balls. Vintage Dhoni, you could say. Explosive stuff right at the end.
Okay, so how do we get there? A 5-wicket win sounds tight, but there's always more to it.
Absolutely. The final score doesn't tell the whole story, does it? So LSG batted first.
Right, and they put up 166 for 7. Decent total, maybe?
Competitive, I'd say, but perhaps not completely out of reach.
Yeah.
Especially on that ground.
And their captain, Rishabh Pant, seems like he was the main man.
Definitely. He anchored it 63 off 49 balls. His first 50 as LSG skipper, I believe.
Our notes highlight it as a lone battle. Suggests the others didn't quite fire.
Yeah, it looks that way. He built an innings, which is crucial. But the lack of big partnerships around him, that probably hurt their final push.
So they couldn't quite accelerate like they wanted to.
Seems like it. And credit has to go to CSK's bowlers there. The sources mention Jadeja and Noor Ahmad specifically.
Keeping things tight. Containment.
Exactly. Maybe not bags of wickets, but, drying up the runs, making it tough to build momentum. That pressure builds.
Right. That makes sense. So CSK needed 167. How did their chase start? Sounds like they went hard early.
Oh, yeah. Came out swinging. Rashid and Ravindra at the top.
The summary says a strong opening stand. What did they get to in the power play?
59 for 1 in the first 6. That's a flying start.
Definitely sets a good platform, puts the fielding side under pressure straight away.
Absolutely. Takes the edge off the required rate early on, too.
But looks like LSG fought back. The middle levers seem tricky.
Yeah, the story shifts a bit there. LSG's spinners came into play, Robbie Bishnoi and Aiden Markram.
And they applied the squeeze.
They did. Started taking wickets, slowed the scoring right down. CSK slipped.
What did they slip to?
It says here, 111 for 5 by the 15th over. That's quite a collapse.
Wow, okay, so from 591 to 1115, the momentum definitely swung back to LSG there.
Completely. The required rate would have been climbing, pressure building. You 5 down, that's a tough spot.
And that's the moment, isn't it? The Dhoni moment.
That's when he walks in, and Shivam Dubé was already there, playing a really important hand himself.
Dubé got 43 not out. That's a vital contribution. Calm head needed there.
Crucial support. But yeah, the focus shifts to Dhoni. The summary calls his batting aggressive.
Well, 26 off 11 balls is aggressive. 4 boundaries and a 6.
In that situation. Game-changing. Especially taking on the pacers in the death overs.
Avish Khan and Shardul Thakur, yeah. Experienced bowlers.
It just shows, doesn't it? His ability to handle that intense pressure, even now, it's quite remarkable, that calculation, that timing.
Incredible. But this leads to a big tactical question, doesn't it? About LSG's bowling choices.
Ah, yes. The Bishnoi over.
Exactly. Ravi Bishnoi, their wrist spinner, had an over left, and Dhoni was batting.
And Dhoni, well, historically, wrist spin hasn't always been his comfort zone. Let's put it that way.
So the question is, why didn't LSG bowl Bishnoi then?
It's a fair question. The source material is pretty direct, calling the omission costly.
It does seem like a missed trick on the surface. You have a weapon against a key player.
You generally use it right, especially when the game is on the line. Maybe they had other plans, maybe thinking about Dubé, or worried Dhoni might target him anyway.
Hard to know the exact thinking in the heat of the moment.
We can only speculate from the outside, but it certainly stands out as a potential what-if moment for LSG.
Definitely highlights how one decision can swing things. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. The head-to-head between these teams.
Right. Before this match, LSG actually had the edge. 3 wins to CSK's 2 in their 5 meetings.
So this win for CSK is significant in that context, too. It levels things up a bit more.
It does. Makes it 3-3 now, doesn't it? Shows CSK finding ways to counter LSG, perhaps. Narrows the gap.
And these head-to-heads, they can build a bit of psychological history between teams over a season.
Absolutely. Matters for playoffs, bragging rights, all of that.
So let's quickly revisit those key performances again. Dhoni's knock, obviously the headline.
Match winning. That aggressive strike play secured what the summary calls a thrilling 5-wicket victory. It's pure theater.
And Dubé's innings. We mentioned it, but 43 not out. That's huge in a chase like that.
Really huge. The calm contribution, providing that stability when wickets were falling, allowed Dhoni to play his natural game at the other end.
Couldn't have done it without him. And for LSG, pants 50.
Yeah, despite the loss, that 63 was the backbone of their score. Shows his class and importance to that side.
Especially when others around him were, like, struggling a bit.
Exactly. And let's not forget the CSK bowlers early on, Jadeja and Noor Ahmad.
Keeping it tight, containing LSG.
Yeah, that consistent containment meant the target was always, just about manageable, even with that middle overs wobble. Their economy rates were key.
So pulling it all together, what's the big picture takeaway from this match? The summary says it reignited CSK's campaign.
I think that's fair. A win like this, coming from behind, chasing under pressure, it builds massive confidence, shows resilience.
Like finding a spark.
Exactly. And of course, it reinforces that narrative around Dhoni. His enduring prowess in high-pressure situations. That story never gets old.
It really doesn't. It's just a reminder that experience and temperament under fire are priceless.
Still so valuable in T20 cricket and for LSG. A tough loss, but lessons learned, you'd imagine.
Probably rethinking some of those tactical calls, especially around the bowling.
No doubt. That Bishnoi decision will be analyzed. But that's the IPL, isn't it? You learn, you adapt, you go again.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, CSK grabs a crucial comeback win, largely thanks to Dhoni's finishing masterclass, ably supported by Dubé.
While LSG will probably rue that potential missed opportunity with Bishnoi against Dhoni.
And the win tightens a head-to-head record, adding spice to their future clashes.
Absolutely. A match defined by momentum shifts, individual brilliance, and some pretty critical tactical choices.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you listening. Just how much weight do these split-second strategic calls carry in games like this?
And how much can one player, particularly someone like Dhoni, with that ice-cool temperament, just completely rewrite the script?
Think about it beyond the obvious moments. What other tiny factors might have been at play? Field settings, a specific bowling change earlier on, even just the pressure of the situation itself.
It's often in those details, the things maybe not even in the highlights package, that you find the real texture of the game. Something to ponder.
Indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us today.